The history of Islam is a rich tapestry woven with the threads of profound spiritual revelations, dynamic empires, and transformative cultural developments. From its humble beginnings in the deserts of the Arabian Peninsula to its widespread influence across continents, Islamic history encompasses the rise and fall of great civilizations, the spread of knowledge, and the enduring impact of Islamic thought on the world. This comprehensive guide aims to delve into the epic saga of Islamic history, exploring its key events, significant figures, and enduring legacy. Join us as we embark on a journey through the centuries, uncovering the fascinating story of Islam and its profound influence on human history. In the arid landscapes of the Arabian Peninsula, a profound transformation was about to unfold. It was in the city of Mecca, around 570 CE, that a child named Muhammad was born into the Hashim clan of the powerful Quraysh tribe. Orphaned at a young age, Muhammad was raised by his grandfather and subsequently his uncle. As he grew, Muhammad gained a reputation for his integrity, earning the nickname Al-Amin, the trustworthy. Mecca was a bustling trade center, home to the Kaaba, a sacred sanctuary housing numerous idols worshipped by various tribes. Despite the city's prosperity, it was steeped in spiritual and moral decay, characterized by tribal feuds, social injustices, and polytheism. Muhammad, often retreating to the cave of Hira for contemplation, was deeply troubled by these conditions. It was during one of these retreats, in the year 610 CE, that Muhammad experienced a profound spiritual encounter. The angel Gabriel appeared to him, delivering the first of many divine revelations. This moment marked the beginning of his prophethood and the birth of Islam. Initially, Muhammad's message was met with skepticism and hostility. He preached monotheism, social justice, and moral integrity, challenging the entrenched power structures and beliefs of Meccan society. His followers, a small group of early converts, faced persecution and boycotts. Among these early Muslims were notable figures like Khadija, Muhammad's wife, Abu Bakr, his close friend, and Ali, his young cousin. As opposition in Mecca intensified, a turning point came with the migration to Yathrib, later known as Medina. This event, known as the Hijra, occurred in 622 CE and marked the beginning of the Islamic calendar. The people of Medina, in contrast to the Meccans, were more receptive to Muhammad's message. They pledged their support in the pledges of Aqaba, inviting him to mediate their internal conflicts and lead their community. In Medina, Muhammad established the first Islamic state, built upon principles of justice, equality, and brotherhood. The Constitution of Medina, a seminal document, outlined the rights and duties of all citizens, including Muslims, Jews, and other tribes. It emphasized mutual respect and cooperation, setting a precedent for pluralistic governance. The Muslim community in Medina, or Ummah, began to thrive, attracting more converts and solidifying its foundation. However, the Meccan elites were not content to see Islam flourish. Several battles ensued, including the pivotal Battle of Badr in 624 CE, where a smaller Muslim force achieved a surprising victory against the Meccan army. This victory boosted the morale of the Muslims and signaled a shift in the balance of power. Despite setbacks such as the Battle of Uhud, where the Muslims faced significant losses, and the Battle of the Trench, where they successfully defended Medina, the community continued to grow stronger. The Treaty of Hudaybiyah in 628 CE, a 10-year truce between the Muslims and the Meccans, allowed for a period of peace and further propagation of Islam. However, tensions remained, culminating in the eventual conquest of Mecca in 630 CE. Muhammad and his followers entered the city peacefully, and he granted amnesty to many of his former adversaries. The idols in the Kaaba were destroyed, and Mecca was established as the spiritual center of Islam. With the unification of the Arabian Peninsula under Islam, Muhammad's mission was nearing its completion. He delivered his farewell sermon in 632 CE, emphasizing the core principles of Islam: the oneness of God, the importance of justice and equality, and the bonds of brotherhood among all Muslims. Shortly thereafter, Muhammad passed away, leaving behind a rapidly growing religious community. The period immediately following Prophet Muhammad's death was marked by a crucial phase in Islamic history, focusing on the leadership of the four rightly guided caliphs: Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Ali. Their contributions to the consolidation and expansion of the Islamic State, as well as the internal challenges they faced, will be discussed. The death of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in 632 CE, posed an immediate and significant challenge for the nascent Muslim community. Without a clear successor, tensions arose regarding who should lead the Ummah. The Ansar, natives of Medina, and the Muhajirun, immigrants from Mecca, convened at Saqifa, where, after intense deliberation, Abu Bakr, a close companion of Muhammad, was chosen as the first caliph. His selection was endorsed by Umar and other prominent companions, ensuring a degree of consensus and stability. Abu Bakr's caliphate, though brief, was critical in maintaining the unity of the Muslim community. He faced immediate challenges, including the Ridda Wars of apostasy, as several tribes sought to break away from the Islamic State or refused to pay the zakat, obligatory charity. Abu Bakr's decisive military campaigns successfully quelled these rebellions, reinforcing the authority of the central government and ensuring the continuation of the Islamic expansion. Following Abu Bakr's death in 634 CE, Umar ibn al-Khattab assumed the role of caliph. Umar's 10-year reign is often regarded as one of the most transformative periods in Islamic history. Under his leadership, the Islamic Empire expanded at an unprecedented rate. His military campaigns led to the conquest of vast territories, including the Sasanian Empire and large portions of the Byzantine Empire, encompassing regions such as Iraq, Persia, Syria, and Egypt. Umar was not only a military strategist, but also a visionary administrator. He established a structured administrative framework, dividing the empire into provinces and appointing governors to oversee them. He introduced the Diwan, a registry for soldiers, ensuring they received stipends and rewards for their services. Umar's governance emphasized justice and accountability, as exemplified by his statement, "Even if a dog dies of hunger on the banks of the Euphrates, Umar will be responsible." Umar's assassination in 644 CE led to the caliphate of Uthman ibn Affan, a member of the influential Umayyad clan. Uthman's reign saw continued territorial expansion, with the Islamic Empire extending its reach into North Africa and further into Central Asia. One of his most significant contributions was the compilation of the Quran into a single, standardized text. This effort ensured the preservation and consistency of the Quranic revelation across the rapidly growing Muslim world. However, Uthman's caliphate was also marred by internal dissent and allegations of nepotism. His preferential treatment of his Umayyad relatives led to widespread discontent. Economic disparities and governance issues further fueled unrest, culminating in a rebellion that led to Uthman's assassination in 656 CE. His death plunged the Muslim community into a period of turmoil and civil strife. Ali ibn Abi Talib, Muhammad's cousin and son-in-law, was then chosen as the fourth caliph. Ali's caliphate was fraught with challenges from the outset. He faced immediate opposition from factions that sought retribution for Uthman's death, most notably from Aisha, the Prophet's widow, and prominent companions like Talha and Zubair. This opposition led to the Battle of the Camel in 656 CE, where Ali emerged victorious, but at great cost. Ali's rule was further challenged by Muawiyah, the governor of Syria and a relative of Uthman, who refused to pledge allegiance. The ensuing conflict culminated in the Battle of Siffin in 657 CE. The battle ended in arbitration, which ultimately weakened Ali's position and led to further fragmentation. The emergence of the Kharijites, a radical faction that initially supported but later rebelled against Ali, added to the internal discord. In 661 CE, Ali was assassinated by a Kharijite, marking the end of the era of the rightly guided caliphs. His death and the subsequent rise of Muawiyah as the caliph established the Umayyad dynasty, transitioning the caliphate from a system based on community consensus to a hereditary monarchy. This shift had profound implications for the political and religious landscape of the Muslim world. The period of the rightly guided caliphs is revered in Islamic history for its foundational role in shaping the early Islamic state. Their leadership established the principles of governance, justice, and military strategy that would guide subsequent generations. Despite the challenges and conflicts they faced, their legacy endures in the collective memory of the Muslim community, symbolizing the ideals of leadership and piety. After the tumultuous period of the rightly guided caliphs, the Islamic world saw the emergence of the Umayyad and Abbasid dynasties, which brought about significant political, cultural, and scientific achievements, as well as complex challenges. The Umayyad dynasty, established by Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan in 661 CE, marked the beginning of a new era in Islamic history. The Umayyads, ruling from their capital in Damascus, transformed the caliphate into a hereditary monarchy, thus centralizing authority and creating a more structured administration. Under their rule, the Islamic Empire expanded at an unprecedented rate, encompassing territories from the Iberian Peninsula in the west to the borders of India in the east. This expansion was marked by significant military conquests. The Umayyad forces, benefiting from a combination of strategic brilliance and the internal weaknesses of their adversaries, managed to conquer North Africa, the Iberian Peninsula, modern-day Spain and Portugal, and large parts of Central Asia. The Battle of Tours in 732 CE, however, halted the northward advance into Europe, marking a significant moment in the history of Christian-Muslim relations. Despite their military successes, the Umayyad dynasty faced numerous internal challenges. The Arab-centric policies of the Umayyads led to growing discontent among non-Arab Muslims, known as Mawali. These converts to Islam felt marginalized and discriminated against in the social and political order. Additionally, the luxurious lifestyle of the Umayyad elite and allegations of moral decay and nepotism further fueled dissatisfaction. This unrest eventually culminated in the Abbasid Revolution, which began in the mid-8th century. The Abbasids, claiming descent from the Prophet Muhammad's uncle Abbas, capitalized on widespread discontent and orchestrated a successful uprising. In 750 CE, the Abbasids overthrew the Umayyad dynasty, marking the beginning of a new chapter in Islamic history. The Abbasid Caliphate, with its capital in Baghdad, ushered in a golden age of Islamic civilization. The Abbasids sought to create a more inclusive and cosmopolitan empire, promoting a culture of intellectualism and multiculturalism. They embraced Persian administrative practices, which helped streamline governance and contributed to the stability of the empire. Under the Abbasids, Baghdad became a thriving center of learning and culture. The caliphs, Harun al-Rashid and his son al-Ma'mun, were notable patrons of the arts and sciences. The establishment of the House of Wisdom, Bait al-Hikmah in Baghdad, exemplified this commitment to knowledge. Scholars from diverse backgrounds, including Muslims, Christians, Jews, and others, gathered to translate and expand upon the works of ancient Greek, Persian, and Indian scholars. This intellectual environment gave rise to significant advancements in various fields. In mathematics, figures like Al-Khwarizmi made pioneering contributions, laying the foundations for algebra. In medicine, scholars such as Avicenna, Ibn Sina, wrote comprehensive medical texts that influenced both the Islamic world and Europe for centuries. The development of optics by Ibn al-Haytham and the philosophical works of al-Farabi and al-Ghazali further highlight the era's intellectual achievements. The Abbasid period also saw flourishing artistic and cultural expressions. The construction of grand architectural marvels, such as the Great Mosque of Samarra and the Alhambra in Spain, demonstrated the sophistication and aesthetic sensibilities of the time. Calligraphy, intricate tile work, and manuscript illumination became highly developed art forms. However, the Abbasid Caliphate was not without its challenges. Over time, the central authority of the caliphs weakened, leading to the rise of autonomous regional dynasties and the fragmentation of the empire. The Fatimids in North Africa, the Umayyads in Persia, and later the Seljuks and Mongols each carved out their own realms of influence, often challenging Abbasid authority. Despite these political challenges, the intellectual and cultural contributions of the Abbasid era left an indelible mark on the world. The translation movement, which preserved and transmitted ancient knowledge, played a crucial role in the later Renaissance in Europe. The fusion of diverse cultural and intellectual traditions within the Islamic world during this period exemplifies the dynamic and syncretic nature of Islamic civilization. Focusing on the period from the 8th to the 14th century, the Islamic Golden Age saw the flourishing of science, medicine, philosophy, and arts under Islamic rule. It highlights key figures such as Al-Khwarizmi, Avicenna, and Al-Ghazali, and their contributions to global knowledge. The Islamic Golden Age is often characterized by an unprecedented surge in intellectual activity and cultural achievements. During this period, Islamic civilization became a beacon of knowledge and learning, drawing scholars from across the known world to its centers of learning. This era, roughly spanning from the 8th to the 14th century, saw remarkable advancements that have had a lasting impact on human history. One of the most notable aspects of the Golden Age was the translation movement initiated under the Abbasid caliphs. The House of Wisdom in Baghdad became the epicenter of this movement, where scholars translated works from Greek, Persian, Indian, and other cultures into Arabic. This effort not only preserved ancient knowledge but also provided a foundation for further scientific and philosophical inquiry. The translations of works by Aristotle, Plato, Hippocrates, and Ptolemy, among others, were instrumental in the development of various scientific disciplines. Mathematics witnessed significant progress during this period. Al-Khwarizmi, often regarded as the father of algebra, wrote seminal works that introduced systematic solutions to linear and quadratic equations. His book, Kitab al-Jabr wal-Muqabala, from which the term algebra is derived, laid the groundwork for future mathematical discoveries. The concept of algorithms, fundamental to computer science, is also attributed to his works. In the field of medicine, Avicenna, Ibn Sina, stands out as a towering figure. His monumental work, The Canon of Medicine, Al-Qanun fi al-Tib, was an encyclopedic compilation of medical knowledge that remained a standard reference in both the Islamic world and Europe for centuries. Avicenna's contributions extended beyond medicine to philosophy, where his interpretations of Aristotelian thought influenced both Islamic and Western philosophical traditions. Optics and physics also saw groundbreaking advancements. Ibn al-Haytham, known in the West as Al-Hazan, made significant contributions to the understanding of vision and light. His book, Kitab al-Manazir, Book of Optics, challenged the prevailing Greek theories of vision and laid the foundations for modern optics. His work on the scientific method emphasized empirical observation and experimentation, principles that are central to modern scientific inquiry. Philosophy and theology flourished alongside the sciences. Al-Farabi, known as the second teacher after Aristotle, made significant contributions to political philosophy and the harmonization of Greek philosophical concepts with Islamic thought. Al-Ghazali, another prominent philosopher, is known for his works on Sufism and his critique of philosophy in The Incoherence of the Philosophers, Tahafut al-Falasifa. His works had a profound impact on both Islamic and Christian scholastic thought. Literature and the arts also thrived during the Golden Age. The Persian poet Ferdowsi's Shahnameh, Book of Kings, is an epic poem that captures the rich tapestry of Persian mythology and history. The 1001 Nights, a collection of Middle Eastern folk tales, reflects the diverse cultural influences within the Islamic world. Calligraphy, architecture, and the decorative arts reached new heights of sophistication, exemplified by the intricate designs of mosques, palaces, and manuscripts. The Islamic Golden Age was not limited to the intellectual elite, but permeated various aspects of society. The establishment of madrasas, educational institutions, and libraries made education more accessible, fostering a culture of learning and inquiry. Scholars from different religious and ethnic backgrounds collaborated, reflecting the inclusive and cosmopolitan nature of Islamic civilization during this period. Trade and commerce flourished, facilitating the exchange of ideas and goods across the vast Islamic empire. The Silk Road and other trade routes connected the Islamic world with China, India, Africa, and Europe, enabling the flow of knowledge, culture, and technology. The introduction of paper from China revolutionized record-keeping and dissemination of knowledge, contributing to the spread of scholarly works. The decline of the Islamic Golden Age is often attributed to a combination of internal strife, external invasions, and changing economic conditions. The Mongol invasions in the 13th century, culminating in the sack of Baghdad in 1258 CE, dealt a significant blow to the intellectual and cultural centers of the Islamic world. Despite these challenges, the legacy of the Golden Age endured, influencing subsequent generations of scholars and contributing to the Renaissance in Europe. The Islamic Golden Age remains a testament to the vibrant intellectual and cultural achievements of the Islamic civilization. The contributions of scholars, scientists, and artists during this period continue to inspire and inform contemporary thought and scientific endeavors. The spirit of inquiry, openness to knowledge from diverse sources, and the pursuit of excellence that characterize this era are enduring legacies that highlight the dynamic and multifaceted nature of Islamic history. The Crusades and the Reconquista were pivotal events in medieval history, marked by prolonged conflicts between the Islamic world and Christendom. These encounters shaped the political, cultural, and religious landscapes of Europe and the Middle East, leaving enduring legacies that continue to resonate today. The Crusades, a series of religious wars initiated by the Latin Church, began in the late 11th century and continued for nearly 2 centuries. The primary objective of the Crusaders was to reclaim Jerusalem and other holy sites in the Levant from Muslim control. The First Crusade, called by Pope Urban II in 1095, was launched in response to the plea of the Byzantine Emperor Alexios III Komnenos, who sought aid against the Seljuk Turks. The Crusaders, motivated by religious fervor, promises of indulgence and prospects of land and wealth, embarked on a perilous journey to the Holy Land. The First Crusade culminated in the capture of Jerusalem in 1099, leading to the establishment of several Crusader states, including the Kingdom of Jerusalem. The success of the First Crusade was followed by a period of consolidation, during which the Crusaders fortified their positions and attempted to build sustainable polities in a predominantly Muslim region. However, the Crusader states faced constant threats from surrounding Muslim territories, necessitating ongoing military campaigns and fortifications. The subsequent Crusades, notably the second, 1147 to 1149, and the third, 1189 to 1192, were marked by varying degrees of success and failure. The Second Crusade, called in response to the fall of the county of Edessa, ended in dismal failure, demonstrating the challenges of maintaining Crusader momentum. The Third Crusade, led by prominent European monarchs like Richard the Lionheart, Philip II of France, and Frederick Barbarossa, was launched following the capture of Jerusalem by the Muslim leader Salah ad-Din, Saladin, in 1187. While the Crusaders achieved notable victories, such as the capture of Acre, they ultimately failed to recapture Jerusalem, resulting in a negotiated settlement that allowed Christian pilgrims access to the holy sites. The Fourth Crusade, 1202-1204, deviated significantly from its original purpose, culminating in the infamous sack of Constantinople, a Christian city, by Crusader forces. This event deepened the schism between the Eastern Orthodox and Roman Catholic churches and significantly weakened the Byzantine Empire. Subsequent crusades, including the Albigensian Crusade against the Cathars in southern France and the Northern Crusades against pagan tribes in the Baltic region, further illustrate the complex and often contradictory nature of these campaigns. The Crusades had profound and lasting impacts on both the Islamic world and Europe. For the Islamic world, the Crusades represented a period of heightened conflict and interaction with Western Christendom. Leaders like Saladin emerged as symbols of resistance and unity against the Crusaders, while cities such as Jerusalem, Antioch, and Acre became focal points of contention. The Crusader presence in the Levant also facilitated cultural and intellectual exchanges, leading to the transmission of knowledge, ideas, and technologies between East and West. In Europe, the Crusades stimulated economic and social changes. The need to finance and supply Crusader expeditions led to the growth of trade and the establishment of new financial institutions. The encounters with the Muslim world introduced Europeans to advanced scientific, medical, and philosophical knowledge, which would later contribute to the Renaissance. Additionally, the Crusades had significant demographic and political implications, as many nobles and knights left their homelands to participate in the campaigns, sometimes resulting in shifts in power dynamics and territorial control. Parallel to the Crusades, the Reconquista was a protracted series of campaigns aimed at reclaiming the Iberian Peninsula from Muslim rule. Beginning in the early 8th century with the Islamic conquest of Visigothic Spain, the Reconquista spanned several centuries, marked by periods of intense conflict and relative coexistence. The Christian kingdoms of Asturias, Leon, Castile, Aragon, and Portugal gradually expanded their territories, chipping away at the Muslim-ruled states of Al-Andalus. Key milestones in the Reconquista include the Battle of Covadonga, circa 722, often considered the beginning of the Christian resistance, and the capture of Toledo in 1085 by Alfonso VI of Castile, which marked a significant turning point. The Reconquista gained momentum in the 13th century with the fall of major Muslim strongholds such as Cordoba, 1236, and Seville, 1248, to the Christian forces. The final phase of the Reconquista culminated in the conquest of Granada in 1492 by the Catholic monarchs Ferdinand and Isabella, ending nearly 8 centuries of Muslim rule in Iberia. The Reconquista had profound cultural, social, and religious consequences. The Christian reconquest led to significant demographic changes, with the expulsion or conversion of many Muslims and Jews. The establishment of the Spanish Inquisition further intensified religious persecution, aiming to ensure orthodoxy among converts and suppress heresy. The Reconquista also contributed to the formation of a unified Spanish kingdom, setting the stage for Spain's emergence as a major European power and its subsequent colonial ventures. The Ottoman Empire and the challenges of modernity present another critical chapter in Islamic history. The rise and fall of the Ottoman Empire, one of the longest-lasting and most influential Islamic empires, alongside the modern challenges faced by the Islamic world, including colonialism, the struggle for independence, and the quest for identity in a globalized world, offer a complex and multifaceted narrative. The Ottoman Empire, founded by Osman I in the late 13th century, rapidly expanded under the leadership of his successors. The capture of Constantinople in 1453 by Mehmed II marked a significant milestone, transforming the city into the capital of the Ottoman Empire and signaling the end of the Byzantine Empire. The Ottomans continued their expansion, reaching their zenith in the 16th and 17th centuries under rulers like Suleiman the Magnificent. The empire's vast territories encompassed Southeast Europe, Western Asia, and North Africa, making it a formidable political, military, and cultural entity. The Ottoman administration was characterized by a complex and efficient system of governance. The millet system allowed for a degree of religious and cultural autonomy among the empire's diverse populations, fostering a relatively harmonious coexistence among Muslims, Christians, and Jews. The Devshirme system, which recruited Christian boys to serve in the Janissary Corps and the Ottoman administration, exemplifies the empire's unique approach to integrating its diverse subjects. Culturally, the Ottoman Empire was a hub of artistic and architectural innovation. The construction of grand mosques, such as the Süleymaniye Mosque in Istanbul, and the flourishing of Ottoman miniature painting and calligraphy reflect the empire's rich cultural heritage. The Ottomans also played a crucial role in the preservation and transmission of Islamic scholarship, maintaining libraries and educational institutions that fostered intellectual exchange. However, the empire faced significant challenges in the modern era. The 18th and 19th centuries brought about military defeats, territorial losses, and internal strife. The rise of nationalist movements within the empire's diverse populations further destabilized the Ottoman state. The Tanzimat reforms, 1839-1876, sought to modernize the empire by implementing administrative, legal, and educational changes. But these efforts were only partially successful. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw the empire increasingly influenced by European powers, culminating in its involvement in World War I on the side of the Central Powers. The war's aftermath led to the partitioning of Ottoman territories by the victorious Allied powers, resulting in the establishment of modern nation-states in the Middle East. The Treaty of Sèvres, 1920, and the subsequent Treaty of Lausanne, 1923, formalized the dissolution of the Ottoman Empire, leading to the emergence of the Republic of Turkey under Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. The end of the Ottoman Empire marked the beginning of a new era for the Islamic world, characterized by the challenges of modernity and colonialism. The 20th century saw the colonization of many Muslim-majority regions by European powers, leading to widespread resistance and the eventual struggle for independence. The The decolonization process, while successful in achieving political sovereignty, left many newly formed states grappling with issues of identity, governance, and economic development. The quest for identity in the post-colonial Islamic world has been a complex and multifaceted process. The rise of nationalist movements, the influence of Western political and cultural models, and the resurgence of Islamic fundamentalism have all played significant roles in shaping the contemporary Islamic landscape. The Iranian Revolution of 1979, the emergence of political Islam, and the ongoing conflicts in the Middle East illustrate the diverse and often contentious paths taken by different Muslim-majority countries. Globalization has further complicated the quest for identity, as Muslim communities navigate the challenges and opportunities presented by an interconnected world. The diaspora experience, the rise of transnational networks, and the impact of digital communication have transformed the ways in which Muslims engage with their faith, culture, and the global community. Issues such as human rights, gender equality, and economic development continue to be central to the discourse on modernity and Islamic identity. The legacy of the Ottoman Empire and the challenges of modernity underscore the dynamic and evolving nature of the Islamic world. From the heights of imperial grandeur to the complexities of contemporary nationhood, the history of Islam continues to be shaped by a myriad of internal and external forces. The interplay between tradition and modernity, the negotiation of identity, and the pursuit of justice and development remain central themes in the ongoing saga of Islamic history.